Shalom, shalom, Israel, shalom. It's Brother Araya. Want to give all honor and glory to the Most High God, Yahweh, by Hashem Mashiach, Malak Yahushua. Another strong shalom to all that are mighty brothers that go out there and labor on the highways and byways, making their body a living sacrifice. In the rain, the tumults, the demons, the uprisers, the uproars, out there standing 10 toes down for the name of the Lord. Another strong shalom to all of the mighty brothers that are not out there as of yet, but they're building themselves up, reading, praying, and fasting, magnifying the Most High and his beloved son Yahweh Shah. Another strong shalom to all that are mighty aquaf in this thing, reverencing their husbands, doing everything they can do to magnify the name of the Lord. Another strong shalom to all that are aquaf that are not married as of yet, but building themselves up. Another strong shalom to all that are mighty children out there, man, zealous, on fire, abstaining from all lust, concupiscence, and peer pressure, standing 10 toes down for the name of the Lord. And last but not least, another strong shalom to the 12 tribes scattered abroad, reading, praying, fasting, magnifying the Most High and his beloved son Yahweh Shah. Right? If you haven't been watching, all hell was breaking loose in the earth, man. Now it was not time to be falling asleep. We say that week in, week out through the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shah, not to scare brothers or sisters, but to warn you, push you, have you to be zealous, man. Have you to keep watch like an ancient watchman. The ancient watchmen didn't have time to go to sleep, be idle, be distracted, give their mind over to what they're missing out in the city. They had a sole job, and that's to keep watch, hold down the post, right? Let me share my screen. We're going to dive straight into it, through the spirit. Right, they had one job and one job to do, and that's to keep watch, man. Let me get this quick precept. Let's go to the mighty book of Isaiah. It's Isaiah chapter 21, right? And I'm going to start at verse number 7, right? I'm going to start at 6. It says, "For thus hath the Lord said unto me, go set a watchman, let him declare what he seeth," man. Think about how deep this is. If you're a watchman and you blink, you go to sleep, you're idle, your mind is to the city, your mind's elsewhere, into folly, madness, drunkenness, slothfulness, and something happens to that city, guess who the Lord is going to requite that blood? The watchman's hands. You got to look how much knowledge brothers know, man. How much wisdom the Most High imparted unto you. The influence you have. The knowledge that's manifest to you, man. The souls that are under you via your wife, your children, brothers in the spirit. You have no room to relax in this world, man. To give yourself over to the cares of this life. You have to keep watch, man. See, everybody has a mission. Like they got that movie Mission Impossible, man. He had a mission to do. You have spies. Spies are sent out for a direct mission. You have these different soldiers, whether they're shipped out to the Middle East, whether they shipped out, you understand, to the West, or whatever the case may be, they have a mission to complete. You're sent out. You're an apostle, man. Sent by the Heavenly Father on earth for a mission to magnify his name and wake up his people, man. That's not a light matter. The Lord said, let me get this quick precept. I'm going to come back to that. Let's go to Isaiah, right? And, oftentimes, brothers lose track of why you're on earth. And it's easy to lose track, man. So much fun is down here, how much distractions, noise, mirth, enjoyment. You understand? Relaxation. It's so much that goes on where you can get distracted from your mission. It's the book of Isaiah chapter 49, right, in verse number 6. And he said, "It is a light thing that thou shouldest be my servant, to raise up the tribes of Jacob and to restore and preserve Israel." That's why we're sent, man. We're not sent for popularity, views, madness, man. All of these wives and you're just getting lost, man, in Israel, man. The latest doctrines. Stay focused on your mission. It says, I will also give thee for a light to the Gentiles, that thou mayest be my salvation to the end of the earth, man. And this teaching has to spread between the four corners of the earth to wake brothers up, man. To push brothers, admonish brothers. The Lord said in the book of Isaiah 21:7, and he saw a chariot with a couple of horsemen, a chariot of asses and a chariot of camels, and he hearkened diligently right? With much heed. And that's spiritual, man. You got your horsemen, your tanks, your military vehicles. You got your asses, man. You got your lower vehicles, man. Right? Your tanks and all of these different things, they're treading down streets, army vehicles, and they're moving. They're treading down cities, man. It says, and he cried, a lion, my Lord, I stand continually upon the watchtower. See, everybody has an office. You have the priests. Certain priests, they couldn't leave the tabernacle, man. You have certain men, they couldn't leave the watchtower. You have certain apostles, they couldn't leave that region until that set gospel was taught, man. You have to ask yourself, man, am I wandering? Am I a nomad? Am I a vagabond? What am I doing in this truth to stay occupied upon my watchtower and upon my mission, man? It says, in the daytime, I am set in my ward whole nights, man. That means all night long when it's easy to fall asleep. See, a lot of brothers right now, they could be kicked up, relaxing, doing whatever they want to do. But then you have certain brothers on the edge of their seat trying to figure out what's the next policy going to be passed. What's the next event that's going to happen upon the earth? And always keep in mind, I'm going to get one more precept before we dive into it. The elect has a spirit to always cry out for deliverance, to always be beseeching the Lord nonstop, man. That's one of the attributes of the elect. Let me get this quick precept and then we're going to dive into it. Let's go to the mighty book of Luke, chapter 18, right in verse number 7. And shall not God avenge his own elect, which cry day and night? So in order to be the elect, right, in the eyes of the Lord, you have to be crying out. Crying out through what? Through oppression, man. And it's not just talking about at your job. Luke 18 and 7 is not just talking about the elect got shorted on their hours, man. They're working a 4-hour work week when they should have been working an 8-hour work week, and they're crying out to the Lord, man. No, this cry is by having a vigilant idea and perspective of what's going on in the earth. How Haiti is being raided, man. How our people are getting locked up, man, by ICE. How all of the tribulation throughout the four corners is hurting our people, man. Inflation is on the rise. The widow has nobody to lean on, man. The fatherless is out in the streets. People are getting kidnapped, raided. All hell is breaking loose, man. And you having all type of earthquakes and multitudes. And these things are happening at a vast rate, and our people are lost on drugs. Unto him, though he bear long with them, I tell you that he will avenge them speedily. Nevertheless, when the Son of Man cometh, shall he find faith on the earth, man? And we're entering into those days where it's going to be hard to be faithful, man. Hard to find faith. See, faith is one of those gifts that the Heavenly Father gives you, man. Faith isn't something you work out on, right? You work out, read 3 chapters, and now you build up all of your faith, man. See, you could read a whole book and still not have as much faith as a brother that just cries out to the Lord, man. That prays or fasts, that actually believes, that actually wants to leave here, man. You got brothers that say they want to leave here, and you got brothers that really, really, really want to leave here, man. The Lord said, I'm going to get one more real quick, right? It's the book of Proverbs, right? Chapter 15 and verse 24. The way of life is above to the wise. So if you're a wise man, you're full of wisdom. The way of life, meaning to live, is going to always be above. It's going to always be to the heavens, always be to be delivered. Your mind is not going to be occupied in this world, man. It says that he might depart from hell beneath, man. And it's hell going to work, man. It's hell with all that we have to deal with as a people, man. And it gets to the point, where like the Lord says, surely oppression maketh the wise man mad. And mad means insane. Meaning you lose your wits. You go crazy and you fall out the way. Like, let's dive into it. Right? I want to share my screen, right? And I want to get straight into it, through the spirit. We got a lot, I want to cover. Let me see if we could dive straight into it. And brothers, let me know if you can see the screen through the spirit. Let me know if you hear it. Right, so it says, breaking
you are
news,
saying that
right?
you would
911, right?
potentially
Breaking
acquire
911
Greenland
reporter.
by
Are you
force. That
willing
would
to
be a
leave the
NATO
NATO
country, the
alliance
United.
in order to
Are you
get
saying that?
what
Would
you
you do
want
that?
with
You're saying
Greenland? And
that.
that's a heavy,
I didn't say
weightier
that. No,
decision,
you're
man.
telling me that
That's a
that's what I'm
weightier
going to
decision
do.
to
You
leave
don't know
NATO,
what
the
I'm going to
North
do.
Atlantic Treaty
Your
Organization,
network doesn't
which
know
is
either.
filled with the European powers and military government, man. For him to leave and break off, she's asking a question.
Are you willing
Let's see, let's
to
figure out what this devil said.
on NATO right now? It sounds like you are saying.
All right. And let me know if you can hear it. And we diving into it. Let me know if you can hear it.
On NATO right now, it sounds like you are saying that you would potentially acquire Greenland by force. That would be a NATO country, the United. Are you saying that? Would you do that?
No, you're saying that.
Would you
I
acquire
didn't
that
say
by
it.
force
No,
right
you're
now?
telling me that that's what I'm going to do. You don't know what I'm going to do.
So what are the options?
Your
then?
network
Because
doesn't know either.
The Danish foreign minister said that there's still fundamental differences after the meeting with Rubio and with the vice president. Are you willing to leave the NATO alliance in order to
Are you willing to leave the NATO
get
alliance?
what you want with Greenland? What are the options right
Well,
now?
I wouldn't be telling you what I'm willing to do, sir.
Well, I wouldn't be telling you what I'm willing to do. And that's proud to be on a public broadcast in front of the world and say such bold words like that, man. I mean, at least this devil could have lied. At least he could have famed himself to act as if he's cool with them. See, it's a lot of councils going on behind closed doors, which I want to dive into, man. From the Senate House, right to the Republicans, the legislative system, how this government is set up, and how America is divided within itself, and how America is dividing with NATO as we speak.
Certainly, I'm not going to give up options, but it's very important. Greenland is very important for the national security, including of Denmark. And the problem is, there's not a thing that Denmark can do about it if Russia or China wants to occupy Greenland.
See, America is so bold. America is so puffed up that it believes in itself to be the world power forever, as if it can self-sustain and govern by military its own self. It's burning every bridge, every alliance, and every military power that stood with it, man. And it's becoming, that person or that entity or that spirit or that region, whatever you want to call it, that is self-sustained away from everybody else on earth, man.
But there's everything we can do. You found that out last week with Venezuela. There's everything we can do about things such as that. Not going to happen. We're not, I can't rely on Denmark being able to fend themselves off. They were talking about they put an extra dog, and they were serious about that.
See, he said he can't rely on Denmark defending themselves. Let me rewind that.
On Denmark being able to fend themselves off. They were talking about they put an extra dog, and they were serious about this. They put an extra dog.
See, what's hypocritical about this devil, and it lets you know that it's deeper than what he's saying, is that Denmark already allowed the United States to be able to set up military bases within Greenland, because Denmark is owned by Greenland. It already allowed the United States to be able to get and search for minerals already, and it allowed them to set up U.S. bases upon Greenland. This happened before this devil even had the mentality, right, to raid, destroy, and overcome by violence and force, right, the Greenland people. But that's not good enough for him, because he's already in NATO, the United States and Denmark. And he already allowed them to do that through their alliance and their agreements. But that's not good enough for this devil. That lets you know the split that the Heavenly Father has put in these devils' mind that is deeper than what they're talking about, man. The Heavenly Father from old has formed the crooked serpent, man, to fulfill his will. And with him being able to search Greenland by Denmark and be able to set up bases, because that's this devil's whole claim to fame, man, that he's setting it up for bases and he wants it for military. But he already had that. So it has to be something deeper going on behind closed doors.
Dog sled there last month. They added a second dog sled. That's not going to do the trick.
Denmark fought along.
Right? And all hell was about to break loose, man. Right, let me show this next clip through the spirit. Right, and all hell is about to break loose. Right, let me get this.
What if the U.S. military just took Greenland by force? The invasion would look shockingly easy.
Right? What if they took them by force? Because Greenland, has a little bit over 50,000 people, which is little to an inhabitants.
Greenland has just 56,000 people, no standing army, only a small Danish dog sled patrol. The US could take the capital in hours, and it's done. But here's where the nightmare begins. Denmark's prime minister said if the US attacks Greenland, NATO is over. And this is not an empty threat.
NATO is over. See, if you attack Greenland, this devil has so much at risk going into Greenland, man. And again, considering laying it all out on the table, if you're a king or a counselor, you have to consider all your pawns, all your bishops, your knights, the queen, the king. You have to consider this thing and strategy. He already had the things that he said he wanted, right, already. But now he's pushing because he not only wants Greenland for the land, he wants it for the minerals, he wants it for the natural resources, he wants it for the military bases to take it overall. He wants Canada. He already conquered Venezuela. He's inching toward to take Colombia. Because this devil cannot stop taking and raping lands, man. It's in his blood, right? We don't.
7 major European powers, France, Germany, the UK, Italy, Poland, Spain, have publicly backed Denmark.
The United Kingdom, Germany, Italy, Poland, Denmark, France, and Spain, right? And France have withdrew itself, right? And withdrawn itself as we speak from NATO, man, and their military alliance. Through all that's going on with America, right? Denmark and Greenland. It's getting to the point where people are starting to play the fence, right?
And Denmark isn't some random country. They lost more soldiers per capita in Afghanistan than any country except the United States itself. Now Trump wants to invade them. So America gets Greenland, but loses NATO, the entire European alliance gone. And
think about how deep that is, man, because Greenland doesn't have a military. They don't have an alliance. All they have is dog sleds, man. What you going to do with a bunch of German shepherds? So this devil has to have something bigger up his sleeve for those minerals, because the things that they are creating are energy hypersonic missiles, which never run out of ammunition. The things that this devil is doing is he thinking on a deeper level. You know what? I could have 3.2 million soldiers. I believe that's how much NATO has. I'm subject to be corrected. But over 3.2 million soldiers. And he said, you know what? Those are men. Those men can die. The United States, as we speak, I'm going to dive into it later on in the lesson, they have AI-powered missile jets through energy and AI and underground submarine AI hubs powered by energy, and they're going to have hypersonic missiles that they're creating for war. Showing you that this devil feels like he doesn't need flesh and blood. He doesn't need an army. He doesn't need NATO. He isn't backed by this man. He doesn't care about this man. This man is so proud, so puffed up through his raping and his robbing and his murdering that he's solely convinced in his mind that he could take on a whole world by the raping and murdering and all of the military he's conforming. Right?
For what? 38 million tons of rare earth minerals that would
38 million tons. 38 million tons.
Take decades and billions to extract and still have to be sent to China for processing because China controls 90% of global refining. So Trump wouldn't be winning a prize. He would be destroying 75 years of trust for an island he can't even use. This isn't a strategy. It's a trap, and America would walk straight into it. What if the U.S. military just...
Right, let me get this, let me pull this up real fast. All right, check this out. So according to NATO, you have different articles. So this is NATO Article 4. NATO Article 4 allows any member country to request, right, consultation with other members when they believe that territorial integrity, right, political independence, or security is threatened. So Article 4 states, man, if they feel like somebody's being threatened, that integrity is changing, policies is being formed, and things are being threatened of their independence and their security, that they could join together and figure out matters of counsel in a North Atlantic Council, man. And that's exactly what they're doing right now against the United States. And these articles are set up again, right, by their policies. Let me get this quick precept. Let's dive into this. Let's go to the mighty book of Daniel. Right? Let's go to the mighty book of Daniel. And it's backed on breaking policies. Right? It's the book of Daniel, chapter 8. And I'm going to start right at verse 25. And through his policy, also, he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand. And that's exactly what's going on with these articles being passed and these things. It says, and he shall magnify himself in his heart, and by peace shall destroy many. And that's why these articles are formed. For what? For global peace. Let's look at this again. Allows any member. So you have Spain, you have Germany, you have France, right? You have the UK. You have these different members that are coming together in council because they feel threatened. It says North Atlantic Council assess this situation and decide a joint response. And they're coming together saying, you know what? We're not backing America, man. They're all coming out saying the same thing. But it does not automatically trigger collectively defense like Article 5. So it's in conversations and discussions right now as we speak, as all these nations are coming together in NATO, that by Article 4, they say, you know what, we're all threatened. And we all come to the common agreements that we're not banging with America, man. America's doing nothing but hurting and overthrowing, right, NATO. It says, and by peace shall destroy many, he shall also stand up against the prince of princes, but he shall be broken without hand. Let's go to the mighty book of Isaiah, right? Like the Lord said, the pride of thine heart have deceived thee. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 10 and verse 12. It says, wherefore it shall come to pass that when the Lord hath performed his work, right? So like he performed his whole work upon Mount Zion and on Jerusalem, I will punish the fruit of the stout, right, of the king of Assyria and the glory of his high looks. So you have an actual king of Assyria, but you have an Assyrian, right? The Assyrian in the spirit is a man of high stature, right? It says, for he saith, by the strength of my hand have I done it, man. No, I've raided these lands. I've created these minerals. I've stolen this oil. See, all the preeminence goes to the king in war. That's why it says David killed, 10,000s. Not that David actually killed 10,000 men, but through him leading the battle, he gets the preeminence. Yahushua is going to destroy all these kingdoms, right? He gets the preeminence, even though he's coming back in a battle of Armageddon in World War III. And these kingdoms are going to be destroying themselves, but he's going to finish the battle and get the preeminence. See, this devil is raiding these lands to have the dominion and say, I have done it. And by my wisdom, for I am prudent, man. He the one that digs tunnels, goes to underground places, builds plants, underground hubs. They're building as we speak AI hubs, man. If you don't know what that is, look it up. They're hub-based plants, and they're creating these things in different cities, in different countries, where it's a whole plant of AI. So if the president, the vice president, a prime minister, military leaders, things of people of wisdom of this world, where they get assassinated, destroyed, kidnapped, they died at death of old age, or whatever the case may be, they're set up for these AI hubs to run the city, man. And we're entering into a new development of AI, man. See, we're confounded at FaceTime. We're confounded that we got a damn projector on the wall at our house and we push play and it shoots at the wall, man. See, these devils, they have all type of Project Bluebeam, man. The things they have is really witchcraft. It says, and I have removed the bounds of the people, man. So he says, within my heart, I remove bounds. I set up coasts, man. And I have robbed their treasures. And I have put down the inhabitants like a valiant man, man. What is robbing the treasures? Invading lands, taking natural resources, man. It says, and my hand hath found as a nest the riches of the people, man. Who are the people to other nations? And a nest is a place where you gather food for your young, man. And over generations, these other nations, through their wars, their lies, right? The things that they have stolen have gathered up riches through natural resources of their lands, through war, through preeminence, right? Through military, through money, and all of the things that they have in their systems. The so-called white man is trying to invade and steal it, overtake it, right? Which is America. And as one gathered eggs that are left, man. Now, eggs aren't naturally left, right? But it's it's parabolically speaking of the riches and the things that are left that he's going to come in and swoop. Have I gathered all the earth? And there was none that moved the wing or opened the mouth or peep. Shall the axe boast itself against he that heweth therewith, man? Meaning you're only as strong as what the Most High allows you to be. You're not just this strong man of war, man. The Most High set you up from old. And I was thinking about it and meditating today through the spirit, how the Most High set this man up and how much is really going on in the earth. And I was talking to my Reb earlier today. I said, man, brothers have been prophesying about NATO's division before it even happened. It's a comforting feeling through the spirit and mercy of the Most High that the men of the Lord are breaking down the scriptures right. Because before they were even divided, before these talks of war, before division of Spain, you understand, France, right, the UK, Greenland, Germany, and all these other states started to publicly come out and say we're not with America. And if they invade this land, we're going to all go to war. And that breaks the alliance. Brothers have been prophesying about this, man. The 10 toes will be divided. You have the European Union, right? The politic side of it. You have NATO, the military side of it, right? The common market, right? In the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, they will counsel out and X out all communication and love for the United States of America, man. The Lord says, show the axe boasts itself against him that heweth therewith. Meaning, no, the axe can't boast of how good that man struck it down, or show that saw magnify itself against him that shake it, as the rod should shake itself against them that lift it up, or as the staff should lift it up, right, itself, as it were no wood. Let me get this quick precept. Let's go to the mighty book of Ezekiel. Ezekiel chapter 21. In verse number 5, that all flesh may know that I, the Lord, have drew forth my sword out of his sheath. Again, we're entering into the days of war. Well, we've heard rumors, man. We've heard it since the 60s. You heard it since the 90s, America was going to be destroyed. You heard it since the early 2000s. The men of the Lord been on the corners telling you week in and week out, the divisions are going to happen, man. Policies are going to be invaded, overthrown, man. The Lord's taking his sword out of the sheath. It shall not return anymore. So once these talks of division start to happen, don't think that they're going to mend it and it's going to be peace and tranquility and love and unity in the earth. Sigh, therefore, thou son of man, with the breaking of thy loins and with the bitterness sigh before thine eyes. And it shall be when they say unto thee, wherefore sighest thou? I mean, what are you sighing for? What's going on? That thou shalt answer for the tidings, because it cometh, man. So, I mean, again, we're living in the days where you're not supposed to be in mirth, man. Not that you can't enjoy yourself, the little time we got left. Not that you can't laugh and joke, but as a spirit of it overriding you being focused and determined and understanding the days we living in, man. Lord said you should be sighing for all of the tidings of war, man, that cometh. And every heart shall melt, and all hands shall be feeble, and every spirit shall faint, and all knees shall be weak as water. Behold, it cometh, and shall be brought to pass, saith the Lord God. Man, that's what the Lord said, man. These things are coming to pass, whether you like it, believe it, understand it or not. Now, I'm going to go to this real quick. Right, we touched on Article 4. You have something in the EU, right? The European Union. They are called European Union sanctions. Now, it says a peaceful tool of diplomacy, man. EU sanctions are a tool under the common foreign and security policy to uphold international law. Right now, international law, this devil came out and said he don't care about international law, man. Let me see if I can pull this up. I don't know if it'll. me see. I don't know if it'll pull up. Let me see. Donald Trump, international law. Let me see. See if we could come up with something real quick. There you go, right here. Trump says he doesn't need international law. Trump says he doesn't need international law. Amid aggressive U.S. policies, man. So how are you in NATO, but you're completely going against the policy, man? See, policies being formed is how this nation gets its power. That's its wine. It's lies. It's policies. It's bills. That's how America gets its power. See, how are the men of the Lord going to get taken down? And the men of the Lord going to get taken down because we're weaker than the so-called white man. We're not more intelligent. We're lost. We're confused. Maybe he knew more precepts than us. No, the pen, the policy. He's going to write laws in his favor because this is his nation that he stole to go against, overthrow, and kill and martyr the saints of the Lord, man. So by his own wine and his own strength, through his policies, Trump and the US of A are going against NATO, man. Now, what did NATO say? What does the EU say? It says to uphold international law. So they have sanctions and laws. Prevent, right, international crisis. Support conflict resolution. So the EU, NATO, they in conflict resolution, man. So-called. They're trying to calm things down. Because Denmark already said you could go in the land. You could take some natural resources. You could set up bases, man. It's not enough for him. And I'm pretty sure in these meetings under Article 4, they say, you know what? We have the EU sanctions. Have you looked at these sanctions? You know what this devil came out and said, man? He said he don't need international law. Meaning, I don't respect your laws. I only respect my laws. But how hypocritical is that if you're coming together in an alliance, man? Shows the division that these devils have, man. Let me get this quick precept. And division is going to be more and more in the earth. Let's go to the book of Jeremiah. Let's go to the mighty book of Jeremiah, chapter 50. It's the book of Jeremiah, chapter 50 and verse 16. The Lord prophesied about division. Cut off the sower from Babylon. Right? Your sower are the people that run these power plants. These people that have trucking and lucrative money coming into it, man. People that are sowing in so that it can increase. It says, in him that handleth the sickle, right? Your farmers, right? All of your people that gather harvest. For the time of the harvest, for fear of the oppressing sword, they shall turn everyone to his own people, man. That's a prophecy. We're living in the days before they get destroyed, everybody's turning to their own people. See, once they were together, laughing, joking, drinking blood, whatever the hell they doing, man. Right? Damn suit rubbing and clapping and shaking hands and whatever the hell they be doing in those meetings, man. And every secret, wicked thing they speak about. But see, now we're living in the days where everybody's turning to their own people, man. Iran, they're turning to their own people. Right? You have Spain, French. Right? Again, French is withdrawn of NATO. America is divided against NATO. Right? Greenland wants its independent from Denmark. And Trump is trying to bribe Greenlanders $100,000, right, for him to gain their citizenship under America. So the division and the dividing is at an all-time high in the earth, man. The Lord said, every man, right, shall turn to his own people, and they shall flee every one to his own land, man. And we're living in the days now where trees are being broke, military alliances are being broke, and every people are cleaving to their own people in their own land, right? Let's go to the book of Jeremiah, chapter 50, and I'm going to get verse 37, right? It says, a sword is upon their horses and upon their chariots and upon all the mingled people, man. See, I have mingled people. See, under America is one of the most mingled nations upon the face of this earth, man. You have the so-called Chinese, the East Indian, the Arabian, right? The Japhite, the Pacific Islanders. You got the so-called black man. You got the so-called white man. You have all of the different mingled people in the earth that are in the midst of her, and they shall become as a woman. A sword is upon her treasures, and they shall be robbed, man, because they have robbed everybody. There's nothing on the earth that America has not invaded, man. America has the most military bases set up throughout the four corners of the earth than any other nation on this earth, man. You have Russia, they have military, but it's in the seas and in parts of people that they have alliances with. They're off the coast. That's why you have coast guards and different branches of the military, man. But the US of A, they're on ground. They're in the air and they're in the sea, man. It says, a sword is upon her treasures, and they shall be robbed. Right? Let me get this real quick. So you got this. Greenlanders' defense is common concern for NATO Danish. PM says as European troops fly in. So right now, European troops are being sent, right, to Greenland because Greenland doesn't have a military. It says troops from France, Germany, the UK, Norway, and Sweden, among others, were on their way to Greenland, a largely, right, anonymous territory of the Kingdom of Denmark. On Thursday, Denmark also announces it will be increasing its military presence. So now they're getting ready for the war, man. The Lord mustereth the troops, man. Let me get this quick precept. The Lord's gathering all of these nations together. You're not gathering them all together to play cards, man. They're not going to all come together in the cold and say, let's play Uno. Let's play spades. Let's see what the Lord said. It's the book of Isaiah chapter 13, right, in verse number 4. The noise of a multitude in the mountains, like as a great people, a tumultuous noise of the kingdoms of the nations gathered, man. And again, the Lord gathers nations together for war, man. And this thing may very well kick off. Now, it may withdraw itself from the earth. The Lord may put a hold on it for a second, and then heighten up things in Iran, or heighten up things about Russia, or heighten up something else in the earth, and create some type of world natural disaster, whatever the case may be. I'm not the Most High. Only the Lord knows it. But you have to understand that these things are prevalent on the earth, man. And there's no coming back. Once you got a bad name, your name stink, man. Let you do some wicked thing amongst the congregation, your name gonna stink. America can't come back from what it's doing right now. It made too many enemies, man. Even if it wanted to, and shook every hand, everybody's marking America. America's marked, man. In the eyes of NATO, in the eyes of Russia, in the eyes of China, right? In the eyes of all of the kingdoms of the earth, man. And nobody in the last days is going to care about America. That's why they're all going to clap their hands, because America has formed a tumultuous amount of enemies that are going to rejoice over their downfall. It says a tumultuous noise of the kingdoms of the nations gathered together. The Lord of hosts mustereth the host of the battle. So the Lord is the one gathering together these men, getting these men prepared, man, for war and destruction. Look at this. British officer among troops sent to Greenland as U.S. talks stall, man. British military officers, right, is among the international group of European forces being, right, deployed to Greenland after negotiations in Washington failed to deliver a breakthrough on the President Trump's demand of his own territory, man. They tried to reason with him, but you can't reason with this man. He's too proud. He's too puffed up. He's in his own mind, man. It says breaking exclusive, the House and Senate have numbers to pass a bill blocking Trump from taking Greenland by force, man. So now the Senate is getting involved. The legislators are getting involved. The council was getting involved. So now you got the Senate House saying one thing, you got America saying another thing. So, I mean, America's divided in itself. Let me get this quick precept. Right? I mean, you can't be divided and be one nation. It's not biblical. Right? Let me get this quick precept. It's the book of Matthew, chapter 12, right? In verse number 25. And Yahweh Shai knew their thoughts and said unto them, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation. Now we know the so-called white man is of one stock, Esau, where you have your different dukes, your different kings, you know, your different men that rule the earth. You have the Russians, right? You got America, right? You got France, you got these different Edomites, right? But also America within itself is divided. And they're trying to override the bills that Trump is trying to form. It says divided against itself is brought to desolation. Now, how me and my wife gonna work together and she hates me and I hate her, man? How a congregation gonna flourish if I hate them and they hate me? How are we going to come together in the last days if there's nothing but division and violence and wars amongst the nation, man? We have to work together. The Lord said, gather thyself together, man. It's brought to desolation, and every city or house divided against itself shall not stand, man. It says, and if Satan cast out Satan, he is divided against himself. How shall then his kingdom stand, man? So if Satan is divided against Satan, how is Satan's kingdom going to stand, man? See, Satan is a prince in the Most High's army. The Most High is the God of hosts, the Lord of hosts. That's his title. One of his many titles. And you got Michael, the arch prince, and then you have Satan. These are high-ranking angels in the Heavenly Father's army. You have Michael on the right-hand side. You have Satan on the left-hand side. Not all angels have titles of military ranking. You have angels that are behind other angels. You got chief angels. You got archangels. And you got princes. In the kingdom, you have a king. And then you have a prince. When you look at Israel, we had 12 princes. When you read the book of Numbers, the first chapter, we had princes all throughout the scriptures. Yahweh Shai is known as the Prince of Peace, right? He came to be a prince and a savior to give repentance to Israel in Acts the 5th chapter. Yahweh Shai is known as a prince under the King of Kings, Yahweh, in the name of his son Yahweh Shai. So this kingdom, which is of earth, is given to the hand of Satan, which is the prince of the power of the air. He's governing and overthrowing all of the minds of all of these wicked Edomites and foreign policy leaders, man, upon the earth. And he's confusing them, manipulating them, overthrowing them. And he's stirring up their minds for World War III, man. See, the so-called white man, he can't fast. He can't pray. There's no defense against Satan that he could fight off. All he does is listen. He gets manipulated. He gets under a delusion, and all he knows is whatever Satan is telling him, informing him to enter his enterprise, man, to do. See, we have discernment. We have counsel. We have mercy. We have the opportunity to be able to have an understanding through prudence that this is not what I should be doing. But see, Satan and his kingdom on this earth is stirring up the minds of these kings, man, and getting them ready for World War III. Right? Let me get this quick precept. Let's go to the book of Isaiah. Right? Let's go to Isaiah chapter. Matter of fact, let's go to Ezekiel. Ezekiel chapter 26. Right? This is Ezekiel chapter 26. And I'm going to start at 8. He shall slay with the sword thy daughters in the field, and he shall make a fort against thee, and cast a mountain against thee, and lift up the buckler against thee. He shall set engines of war against thy walls, and with his axes he shall break down thy towers. By reason of the abundance of his horses, their dust shall cover thee. Thy walls shall shake at the noise of thy horsemen, man. And you know, this is our deep prophecies, prophetic, double to that which is, of nations coming against America. And America has formed, right, an Iron Dome, right? They have a new military protection, which costs, I believe, billions of dollars, which is higher, or they mapped it off, rather, off of the Iron Dome, or what do they call it? Israel's Iron Dome. And it's also called a magic wand. Right? You have the Iron Dome, right? A mobile all-weather air defense system. Right? Then you also have the magic wand. Right? Israel's magic wand refers to the David sling. Right? And these are to stop off all missiles. But America, let's see if I can pull this up. Iron Dome protection. Right. Well, I forgot the name of it. Most High willing to come to me, but they're forming, through billions of dollars, if not trillion, a new Iron Dome protection, which is cutting edge. I wanted to dive into that. The Most High willing, I still can. Right. But it says the House and Senate have numbers to pass a bill blocking Trump from taking Greenland by force, man. Right. Let me share this video. We're going to dive into it. Right, so I can bear with me. Gotta pull this up. So I can bear with me. Give me a strong count if brothers can see the screen. Make sure brothers can still see the screen. Give me a strong count if brothers can see the screen.
They are just subjects. It is officially over. Denmark and Europe have just threatened the United States.
Right, Denmark and Europe, right, have just threatened the United States, man.
Of America. The alliance is broken. Here is the situation. European leaders say if Trump takes Greenland, NATO will dissolve. France has even hinted at deploying nuclear submarines near the island. They are trying to scare the US. But watch the UK. America's closest ally is silent. They are acting carefully, not supporting Europe, but not stopping Trump either. The UK knows where the real power lies. But here is the dark reality. Europe is bluffing. They are trying to look big and strong, but without the US military protecting them, they are toothless. If Donald Trump wants Greenland, Europe cannot stop him. They are realizing they are no longer partners. They are just subjects. Do you think Europe would actually fight the US? Yes or no?
See that? Oh, hell's starting to break loose, right? Now I want to share this too. The wickedness that Trump is doing to try to overthrow, right, so that he can get Greenland. Look at this. Trump, right, admin reported, considers paying each Greenland resident up to $100,000 amid U.S. takeover talks. So he's trying to take over it so much and trying to avoid war that he's willing to come out of pocket, man, of all of the things they've stole. $100,000, man. That's 100,000 times 56,000, right? Look at that, man. Yeah. I don't know if brothers can hear that. Maybe not. If brothers can't hear that, that's okay. I don't know if brothers can hear that. Give me a con if brothers can hear that. Maybe, maybe not. Okay, con, no sound. That's all right. Right, check this out. It says in Danish Defense Ministry said earlier this week that is deploying increased aircraft, naval vessels, and soldiers to Greenland with further assistance with NATO allies. The extra forces will guard critical installation, assist local authorities, and prepare for additional allied troops. Their drills are aimed at expanding NATO's footprint in the Arctic and training forces and operate in the harsh conditions, officials said, man. So the Lord gathering these troops together, man, getting them ready for World War III and battle. Right. Let me get this video real quick through the spirit. Right. I got a lot I want to touch on. Salaki, bear with me. Got a lot I want to touch on. I believe we haven't watched this one. There's a lot of videos pulled up. Bear with me.
Military just took Greenland by force. The invasion would look shockingly easy. Greenland has just 56,000.
Salaki, we just checked that one out. Bear with me. All right, we gotta get this together. Let me see. Bear with me. Bear with me. Israel impatient. Jake, man. I believe this is it. Con.
Breaking news. Greenland has chosen war with the United States and has selected NATO as its defender. Trump sent a warning to NATO yesterday, stating that if America invades Greenland, NATO must stand back, and that any NATO troops on the island would result in war with the United States.
Right. So
today,
it's saying this thing over and over and over. Global tensions escalate. U.S. warned. So they're warning you, stay back, man. Stay back.
Breaking news. Greenland has chosen war with the United States
and Greenland said, look, man, you're not coming in. It is what it is. We don't want to be a part of the United States. He's bribing them with $100,000. I mean, the tensions are escalating, man.
Has selected NATO as its defender.
You say, you know what? NATO is going to defend us.
Trump sent a warning to NATO yesterday, stating that if America invades Greenland, NATO must stand back, and that any NATO troops on the island would result in war with the United States.
And again, that's banking back to Article 5. Article 4 already took place. They already came together under Article 4. They tried to figure out what they could do together. They both formed the idea and the understanding that, you know what, we're not back in America. Now it's about to enter into Article 5.
Today, the Greenland Prime Minister formally requested protection and rejected all ties with the United States.
They rejected all ties with the United States of America. We'll rewind that.
Formally requested protection and rejected all ties with the United States, meaning there will be no negotiations. Trump has made it clear, saying, "We will have Greenland," and has not ruled out the use of military force. The situation now is that if the United States places even one soldier on Greenland, NATO Article 5 could be activated at the request of Denmark, which controls Greenland and is a NATO member.
See, Denmark is respected in NATO, man. They make that call and all hell is going to break loose, man.
More specifically, France has already chosen its side, stating it will support the Danes, and reports claim plans are being drafted behind closed doors for a NATO defense of Greenland against the United States, potentially led by French nuclear submarines. It is already reported that Trump is more than ready to sacrifice NATO in order to acquire Greenland, leaving one question: who would win, NATO or the United States?
See that? Say who would win, NATO?
Led by French nuclear submarines. It is already reported that Trump is more than ready to sacrifice NATO in order to acquire Greenland, leaving one question: who would win, NATO or the United States? Breaking.
It's division in the earth, man. Division is in the earth right now. It's a beautiful spirit on the earth, man, of division, especially with your enemies. Let's go to the mighty book of Isaiah. Let's go back to Ezekiel, right? Chapter 26. And I want to start at verse 10 where we left off. By reason of the abundance of his horses, their dust shall cover thee. Thy walls shall shake at the noise of the horsemen and of the wheels and of the chariots, when he shall enter into thy gates, as men enter into a city wherein is made a breach. With the hoofs of his horses shall he tread down all thy streets. He shall slay the people by the sword, and the strong garrison shall go down to the ground. And they shall make a spoil of thy riches, and make a prey of thy merchants, and they shall break down the walls and destroy thy pleasant houses, and they shall lay thy stone and thy timber, and thy dust in the midst of the waters, man. That's America that sit up upon many waters, man. Let's go to the mighty book of Habakkuk, right? Let's go to Habakkuk, man. Because the Lord prophesied that, nations with strength use witchcraft, man. It's not something brothers just say because it sounds good, right? It's actually in the Bible. It's the book of Habakkuk, right? Chapter 1 in verse, I'm going to start at 12 all the way down. Art thou not from everlasting? This is what Habakkuk is saying, man. Aren't you the Most High God? You don't have a beginning or an end. O Lord, my God, my Holy One, we shall not die. O Lord, as thou ordained them for judgment. Aren't they created to be destroyed, man? Why are they ruling the way they are? Why are they having so much fame and strength in the earth? And Almighty God, thou has established them for correction. If you establish them to get beat on, tortured, to be a stool, why are they so strong? Thou art of pure eyes. Meaning, Lord, I know you see the evil that's going on in the earth. Then to behold evil. I know you can't stand to see it. And canst not look on iniquity. You only want to look at it. Therefore, lookest thou upon them that deal treacherously. And behold this, thy tongue, when the wicked devour a man, is more righteous than he, man. How, Lord, are you so patient? The Lord said in Isaiah 42:13 all the way down, I have long time holding my peace, man. So the Lord is very patient, right? On the right-hand side, and he's patient with destruction. On the left-hand side, it says, verse 14, and makest men as the fish of the sea. So we're like the fish. Peter, he was a fisher of men. You got, brothers, they fish. We said we fishing through the spirit, trying to reel Jake in. What a fish in this context, because it's as if we don't have a leader. See, fish have something called a school of fishes, where it's hundreds of them or thousands, and they all go this way, they all shoot that way. They all go this way, they all shoot that way, man. It's as if we're lost sheep. And make us of men as the fishes of the sea, and as the creepy things that have no ruler over them, man. And it feels like we don't have any protection on this earth, man. Our Lord is in the heavens. Sometimes he's silent and all hell is breaking loose. But when he finally rises up for judgment, everything that we have written, heard about, witnessed, and or dream will come to pass, man. Verse 15, they take up all of them with an angle. An angle is a way to scoop a fish, man. Meaning these nations, chiefly America, they take an angle, right? And they scoop down in ponds, rivers, streams, oceans, valleys, you understand? And they capture men. They catch them with their net. That's through their philosophies, their policies, their doctrines, to trust in them and gather them in their drag. Therefore, they rejoice and are glad. So see, when these nations, they rule countries, they take lands, they take natural resources, they take souls of men, they rejoice. And they catch them with their drag, man, their angle, man. And again, the angle could be philosophy, it could be witchcraft, to captivate your mind, whatever form of manipulation they use, they distract you and capture you. Verse 16, therefore they sacrifice unto their net, man. So what gives them strength? Their sacrifice. Every nation has a priest. When you read the book of Genesis, you have the priest of Midian, right? That Moses was around, right? Jethro. You also have the priests, right, of the Philistines. I believe that's 1 Samuel, the 6th chapter. Bear with me. I believe it. 1 Samuel chapter 6 and verse, bear with me. I believe. I gotta knock the dust off that precept. Right? Bear with me. I believe it's Numbers chapter 6. I could be wrong. Right? Pull this precept up. with me. It says the ark of the Lord was in the country of the Philistines 7 months, and the Philistines called for the priests and the diviners. I don't say a precept. Probably looking right at it. Yeah, I'm looking right at it. Yeah, I'm looking right at it. Salakia. It's the book of 1 Samuel chapter 6 and 2. And the priests called for the Salakia, and the Philistines called for the priests. And those aren't Israelites, man. Again, you have wickedness and witchcraft at a high level on the left-hand side. You have your diviners, your sorcerers. Remember the Egyptians, man. They had their priests, their sorcerers, their enchanters. So all of these nations, they offer up sacrifices. You know, you can't just dumb it down. They all get in the dark room. They all dance. They drink baby's blood, man. That's on a low level, man. They actually light candles. They actually do sacrifices, man. Every nation does sacrifices on the left-hand side. It says, and the Philistines called for the priests and the diviners, saying, what shall we do, right? The ark of the Lord. Tell us wherewith we shall send it to its place, right? And we're not going to read on, but nevertheless, just going to show you there's wickedness and witchcraft and sorcery of sacrifices and priests on the left-hand side. So as they come together in these councils, right, and they form these policies, they're praising the God of this world. They're giving sacrifices. How do you feed the sacrifices of the spiritual demon Satan? With blood, man. Whose blood, man? Is it their blood? No. The blood of the nations, the blood of the innocent, the blood of the lost, man. The ones that have no idea what's going on. And they feed them. They sacrifice, they kill, and it gives them more power, more strength. It says, therefore, they sacrifice unto their net and burn incense unto their drag, man. Again, your drag is a way of what? Scooping and capturing men. So they burn incense parabolically, showing that they give sacrifices. Because by them their portion is fat and their meat plenteous. So they therefore empty their net. You think the so-called white man is going to empty his net, man? The thousands of years of things that he has gathered, man. The information that he has gathered. The power that he has. The seat that's been warmed generation after generation of his son sitting on it, man. You think he's going to empty that out, man? It says, and not spare continually to slay the nations, man. That's what they're doing. They're slaying and destroying the nations. Right, let me get this quick precept. Let's go to the mighty book of Nahum, right? It's Nahum chapter 10. So like it, chapter 2 and verse 10, right? I'm going to start at 9. Take ye the spoil of silver, take the spoil of gold, for there is none of the end of the store, and glory out of all the pleasant furniture. She is empty and void and waste, and the heart melteth, and the knees smite together, and much pain is in all loins, and the faces of them all gather blackness. This is when they're getting destroyed. You know, you got Nineveh on one level, but then you have America on a prophetic level. Wherefore is the dwelling of the lions, man. See, the lions is parabolically strength, right? Glory, preeminence, rulership, man. You have a lion on the left-hand side, you got a lion on the right-hand side. See, where's the dwelling of the lion, man? See, the lion was once stable, strong. It could tread down any path, like you read about in the book of Job, chapter 28, man. It's not any path he can't go. See, America's personified as the lion on the left-hand side, man. It goes anywhere it wants. It roars, right? It speaks things and can't nobody stop it, man. And the feeding place of the young lions. It says, where the lion, even the old lion walketh, man. And the lions woke, and none made them afraid. See, back in America's glory days, none made them afraid. They took down the French, Spain, right? British. They conquered and colonized lands, took down the Seminole Indians, the Gadites, man. They conquered America, man, the so-called known world, and none made them afraid. It says the lions did tear in pieces enough for his whelps. Again, the lion is the so-called white man. He teared in pieces, meaning he raped treasures, people, and countries, and shared it with his whelps. His whelps is his younger generation. That's why you have generational wealth on the left-hand side, man. These things don't just come out of nowhere, man. Land is being passed down. All type of money is the trust funds, man. Relationships. It says, and strangled for his lioness, meaning his women, your queens. It says, and filled his holes with prey, man. Now, his holes are your museums, your vaults, your things that are tucked away, your military vessels, man, your bases. He has stole so much, he has stuffed it in his holes, man. Now, when a beast they bring it back to their nest, they hold their den. That's exactly what the so-called white man did, man. He brought it back to his generations to feed and eat off of, man. And his dens with ravening. Behold, I am against thee, saith the Lord of hosts, and I will burn her chariots, and the smoke, and the sword shall devour thy young lions, and I will cut off, right, thy prey from the earth, and the voice of the messengers shall no more be heard, man. No more gonna hear rumors. No more gonna hear policies. No more going to have those messengers going to meetings and bringing back, different things that are being formed, right? Now, again, it says the Senate House is divided. What is the Senate for brothers that don't know? The Senate has exceptional high authority, sometimes higher than the president or the House of Representatives, man. So these are your people that are coming together. They're sitting in a room and they're trying to pass and gather with council laws, which is brought before the president, right, to write off and stamp. So really they're the mind and the president is the puppet. It says the Senate can try cases of impeachment, which can dismiss a president for misconduct. President Andrew Johnson and William J. Right? The United States Senate House Chamber of United States Congress. The Senate in the United States have the authority under Article 1 of the Constitution to make and pass or defeat federal legislations. So they have that power to do so, man. To defeat it, to pass it, to revoke it, right? Now, you have something called the NATO Unity Protection Act. The NATO Unity Protection Act, right? It says to prevent any U.S. president from using federal funds to blockade, occupy, or take over sovereign territory of the NATO ally, specifically targeting potential actions like acquiring Greenland and Denmark, man. Wait a minute. Who did this? The U.S. bill introduced January 26 by Senator Markaritzi, right? I mean, what's going on, man? See, America is divided within itself. How is the U.S. passing bills to try to stop the president, and the president is doing what he wants to do, the Senate House doing what they want to do, president, damn, is in NATO, America's in NATO, he doing what he want to do. This man is doing what he wants to do in the earth, man. You can't tell me America is not the whore and the harlot, man. Let me get this quick precept. They are divided. Let me get this quick precept, man. This is not your good old days, make America great again, man. See, America was great in slavery, man. That's what they mean, make it great again. Through colonization, through preeminence. And he's taking that mindset of make America great again for those that have ears to hear and bringing it back. Meaning the days of rape and colonization and wealth. Right, this is the book of Revelation, man. Right, chapter 17. And I want to start at verse number 2. It says, with whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication. And all of the kings have been in bed with Babylon, whether through policies and alliances or whether by trade, they have been in bed. You understand? Whether by military, they have been in bed. They have been in bed through indoctrination. You understand? Through religion, through some form of fashion, you have tasted the wine of this whore. And the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk. So when you're drunk, you're out your mind. You can't think straight. Your vision is blurry. You're liable to forget what you did. And that's exactly when you get in bed with America, man. You forget what you did, man. You wake up the next day, what done happened, man. She done took advantage of you, overthrew you, man. Put the wine to your damn neck to get you drunk, that she may look on your nakedness, man, and uncover all your secrets, to figure out what's in your land. It says, so, and the land is personified as a woman with fertile soil. That's exactly what America does, man. She get you drunk, make meetings with you, come on, you put bases all throughout the different parts of the earth to fondle and play with the woman, man. You know, if you got ears to hear, right? It says, so he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet colored beast full of names of blasphemy, man. So her name is full of lies, fornication, man, and evilness, of blasphemy, right? It says, full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads, right, and 10 horns. And again, when you actually going into it, right, you got the common market, the EU, right, and NATO, the military alliance. And the woman was arrayed in purple. And a purple is a very, very hard color to make in the ancient world. And that's what the kings wear. And scarlet, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand full of abominations and filthiness of the wine of her fornication, man. Her fornication. So she has a golden cup, man. So she's known to get you drunk, to overthrow you, man. And upon her forehead was the name written, Mystery, Babylon, the great, the mother of harlots, the abomination of the earth, man. And I saw a woman drunken with the blood of the saints and with the blood of the martyrs of Yahushua. And when I saw her, I wondered with great admiration, man. So America, we're entering into the days of war, but we're also entering into the days of the 5th seal, which is going to speedily transition, right, as these days kick off, and the Lord's going to make these days shorter, man. Lord said for the elect day sake, man, he will make the days shorter. Paraphrasing greatly, man. I know you wake up, you know, you go to sleep, you wake up, you go to sleep, and a week done went by, man. I'm blinking and it's Friday, man. I'm going to go to camp, most I willing. I'm going to shake their hand till we'll pop out of joint. I'm going to pop it back in joint. I'm going to go to work, and it's going to be the Shabbat again. That's just how this thing is going on, man. That babies is getting older and, you know, hair growing and get cut. Every single day, you know, it seems like the days are just speeding by, man. I don't know if it's you. I don't know if it's just me. I don't know if brothers and sisters feel the same way. But it feel like time is like moving, man. You blink 3 times. If you fall asleep, and I'm not talking about literal, if you go back in the world or you're just delusional for a month, you don't know what happened in that month. How much prophecy the Lord unfolded, man. What's going to kick off? How serious, you know, anything could be in the last days. You got to stay awake, man. Right, let me get this real fast. So let me share this real quick. I want to get a little bit more through the spirit. All right, bear with me. Pull this up. All right, through the spirit. Bear with me. All right, I got this I wanted to dive into. Maybe I could pull it up, maybe not. Okay, let me see. It says the U.S. reveals plan for massive laser warship, right? And again, we're entering into the days of hypersonic warfare, where it's not really a matter of men and soldiers. It's not really a matter of weaponry, right? 223s and different shell cases and different bombs and nukes necessarily. You're having hypersonic lasers that are powered by energy.
The United States has just revealed plans for a massive laser warship. This ship, comparable in size to an aircraft carrier, will be equipped with state-of-the-art directed energy weapon systems, including powerful laser cannons. These lasers can instantly destroy incoming missiles, drones, and even high-speed targets, offering a level of precision and speed that traditional weapons cannot match. The best part? The laser's ammunition supply is essentially unlimited.
Unlimited, man. It says
The laser's
laser supply is unlimited, man. Why? Because it's fueled by energy. You know, you have those different plates that brothers and or sisters be having on top of their houses, you know, fueled by the sun, and it could create electricity in your house. The same way they're taking out on the left-hand side. Like you got windmills, they get powered by the wind. They're taking minerals and energy and turning it into weaponry.
That traditional weapons cannot match. The best part? The laser's ammunition supply is essentially unlimited,
Right?
as it runs on electricity, not physical projectiles, meaning it can fire again and again without running out of ammo. Imagine a massive beam of light cutting across the ocean's surface, vaporizing enemy missiles before they even get close to the ship. This isn't some futuristic concept, it's a reality that's already being planned by the US Navy. This marks the true arrival of the laser age on the naval battlefield. But this plan goes beyond just showcasing advanced military technology.
Look at this, man. I don't know if brothers could see this.
On the naval battlefield, but this plan goes beyond just showcasing advanced military technology. It also plays a significant role in a larger political and strategic game. The question remains, will this revolutionary weapon prove effective in real combat situations? Time will tell.
See that?
The United
And that's exactly what they're gearing for, man. They're gearing up for these days. Again, it's not just on one level, right? But them just having soldiers and weaponry anymore, man. Again, AI is about to take over. Right? Let me show this real quick. The age of AI is on the rise, and they're having a new fighter jet that was newly released. Right? Let me see if I can pull this up. Yes, the future F-47 NGAD, next generation air dominance, man. Fighter jet, right, is designated to fly autonomously and be optimally manned, right, leveraging advanced AI for missions, man. This thing is new. Right, I touched on a while ago that the Russians, it's like it gave China, it gave old military, right, on fighter jets to Venezuela for their relationship, right? And that's off, man. How is Russia going to give Venezuela old technology and old weaponry and old fighter jets from the early 2000s? That's off. But see, America is so advanced that these things are undetectable on radar, and these things are powered solely by AI, man. Imagine having a fighter jet in the air that nobody's in. How many they can make with all of the oil they stole, which is over $500 trillion, man. And they're projected to go into Greenland to start World War III and all hell breaking loose, man. To take more minerals for solar energy with lasers and hypersonic weaponry on top of AI. So that the high advanced things that they're creating in these last days are crazy. You know what the Lord calls this? Let me get this quick precept. Let's go to the mighty book of Revelation. Right? I'm going to get this quick precept, and I want to come back. This is the mighty book of Revelation, chapter 12 and verse number 7. And there was war in heaven. Now, that's not literally in the third heaven. This kingdom, this realm. This is the war that's going to take place. It's going to be in the heaven, meaning the sky. And there was war in heaven. Michael and his angels, again, because you have rank. Michael is known as a prince. He's an archangel. He's going to have military formation under Yahweh Shai to map out, just like any king, generals, captains, officers, soldiers. It's going to all play out now. Says Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought and his angels. Now, again, this is not talking about Satan. You know, Satan is going to manifest in the last days, and Michael and Satan is going to be in the air, and it's going to be some Leonardo da Vinci painting, man, of old white men, right, touching each other's fingertips, man. No, this is parabolically saying that the Most High, through Yahweh Shah, is going to send down his holy angels, right, in so-called UFOs to fight against the so-called white man, right, with his fighter jets, which are going to be fueled with energy, AI, whether men are going to be in them in those days or not. They're going to create so many, and they're going to vastly be empowered by this AI and all of this technology, right? Sorcery, that is going to look like it's a war in heaven. And again, his angels are his military in the sky, and prevailed not, neither was their place found anymore in heaven, man. And the dragon, that great dragon, was cast out, that old serpent, called the devil and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world. He was cast into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him, man. Right? Let me go back to that. It says advanced AI for missions, controlling drone, wingmen, and even operating with a pilot. Right? So like without a pilot for a specific task, man. I mean, if you got a Tesla that drives itself and you're just a mortal man, a 9 to 5, you just go to work and you come home. What do you think they have, man? If they give you a Tesla, you sitting up in the car, you laughing, you joking, cracking a joke, you reaching in your back seat, right? You looking behind instead of using the mirror because it's driving itself. If you can do that, imagine what things they have that's driving itself. It says they even have what is it called? Those cleaners, those vacuums, man. For brothers that seen them. Those little circle vacuums, they go on their own, they go under the bed, they come back out, they go into the kitchen, they come out of the kitchen, they go into the living room, right? It says specific tasks, shifting from traditional dog fighting to network air supporting, man. Check that out, man. So, I mean, the future is here. AI-driven flight. Use artificial intelligence. Anonymous fight to complex mission management, making it faster and more lethal than human pilot jets, man. So look out for the F-47s, man. Esau's angels, right? Check this out. Let me see if I can pull this up. Bear with me. I wanted to get something through the spirit. I was looking at it earlier. I'm gonna see if I could if I had this in my notes, maybe not. Maybe not. Let me look this up real quick. I mean, they got articles, like an Operation Arctic Endurance. I wanted to touch on that too. It's so much going on, man. Let me get this real fast. Right? Got Operation, right? Arctic Endurance. Real fast. Operation Arctic Endurance is the name of a 2026 Danish-led military, right, exercise in Greenland. In the wake of repeated threats to Greenland's sovereignty by the United States, a number of European states, as well as Canada, have begun deploying military, man. So even Canada getting involved, man. Everybody's turning their face against the horde, planning staff to various locations in Greenland, right? Principally Nuuk. In 2025, the United States, Donald Trump said that the United States will purchase Greenland from the Kingdom of Denmark since they were escalating in January 2026, right? So we're not going to read this whole thing, you know, but they're passing articles, they're creating alliances, and they're coming together. All of this is under Article 5, right? Let's go to the book of Nahum. Let me get this quick precept. It's the mighty book of Nahum, right? Chapter 3. And I want to start at verse number 15. It says, there shall the fire devour thee. The sword shall cut thee off. It shall eat thee up like the cankerworm, man. The cankerworm, they just, all it does is stay on the branch. It stay on the leaf and it eats away. Like the Lord said, that word doeth eat as do a cankerworm. Hymenaeus and Philetus, man. And the Apostle Paul was warning, man. So he said, look, man, this fire is going to devour and it's going to cut you off because man is likened to a tree. It's going to eat you and devour you like a cankerworm. Make thyself many as the cankerworm. Make thyself many as the locust, man. Meaning multiply in power and military. Thou hast multiplied thy merchants above the stars of heaven. The cankerworm spoileth and fleeth away. So the Most High said, look, you don't multiply yourself, right? Thy merchants above the stars of heaven. The things you sold, the imports that come in and out. The crown are as the locusts, and the captains as great grasshoppers, which camp in the hedges in the cold day, man. But when the sun ariseth, they flee away, and their place is not known where they are. So they camp in the hedges, man. What does it mean they camp in hedges? What does it mean locusts and grasshoppers are camping in ledges, man? It's all hip talk, man. See, locusts is likened to an army because they travel in bands. They're camping, meaning strategizing and staying in hedges. Hedges are dips, valleys, and thorn-based things that are covering them. And that's exactly what America does, man. They encamp as grasshoppers in number and locusts in armies, and they camp in different parts of the earth, in the hedges in the cold, man. Right? That's exactly what they do. You know, we encamped, man, and we had guerrilla what they call it, guerrilla war style, guerrilla warfare, right? We did that in 1 Samuel, the 14th chapter, right? Let me get this real quick. It's a part of war and camping. You got that in Joshua, the 8th chapter. We did that in the Maccabees. We did that during the time of Samuel, right? We did that all throughout the Bible. It says, but if they say, come up unto us, then we will go up, meaning for war. For the Lord have delivered them into our hands, and this shall be a sign unto us. Both of them discovered themselves unto the garrison of the Philistines. And the Philistines said, behold, the Hebrews come forth out of the holes where they have hid themselves. And that's encamping, man, in the cut. And we came up out of the garrison, out of the holes of the rocks, and they didn't even see us coming. It says, and the men of the garrison answered Jonathan in his armor bearer and said, come up to us, and we will shoot you a thing. And Jonathan said to his armor bearer, come up after me, for the Lord have delivered them into the hand. Right? And what did he do? They came up out of holes and rocks, and they went to war, man. So when camping in hedges is spiritual. That's what they do. It says, but when the sun arises, that's Yahweh through the spirit, righteousness, they flee away. Like the Lord said, this is the condemnation, that light is coming to the world. And men love darkness rather than light because their deeds were evil. It says, and their place is not known where they are. Thy shepherds slumber, O king of Assyria, right? Those are your leaders, your foreign leaders, your politicians, your governors, your generals of this world, man. They all slumber. It says, thy nobles shall dwell in the dust, meaning at a lower state. Thy people is scattered because Egypt's going to be like a woman upon the mountains, meaning the diverse places where you have your mountains, right? Your military bases, where you're situate and set up, and no man gather them. Nobody's going to gather you back together for safety and help. There is no healing of thy bruise. So again, like 2nd Esdras 16, once the Lord kicked these things off, there's no turning back. There's no healing to this bruise. Thy wound is grievous. All that hear the bruit of thee shall clap their hands over thee, man. Check that out. How many times did the Lord say that? That they're going to clap their hands over us, man. It's like everybody's going to clap their hands over them. Didn't they clap their hands over us, man? Ain't that, what's that, Psalms? What's that, Psalms? Knock the dust off this one. It's Psalm 70 and 3. All right, this is the book of Psalms, start at 2. It says, let them be ashamed and confounded that seek after my soul, right? Those are the nations that try to devour Israel. Let them be turned backward, right? Meaning go back and confounded and put to confusion, right? Confused, perplexed, that desire my hurt, meaning to kill me and overthrow me. Let them be turned back, right? For a reward of their shame, meaning let them be recompense for the evil they gave. That say, aha, aha, man. When they laugh at us, they clap their hands at us, man. Then they send portions and give gifts in the book of Revelation, 11th chapter. Let all those that seek thee rejoice and be glad. Let such as love thy salvation say continually, let God be magnified. So they laugh at us, right? They clap their hands at us. So it's only right that their hands of the nations will be clapped over them. It says, for upon whom have not thy wickedness passed continually? Who is this talking about, man? Who else could this be talking about? If not where, then who is he, like the Lord said, man? If this isn't it, then who is it? It says, for upon whom have not thy wickedness passed? You know, what place have you not tread down? That can't be a witness against you. That pass continually, man. And they continually pass, man, with all of the wickedness and evil that they do. Right? Let me get this quick precept in Daniel. It's the mighty book of Daniel, right? Chapter 2. And I want to start at verse 44. I mean, this whole thing is fire. Start at 42. I'm going to start at 40. And the four kings shall be strong as iron, for as much, it's like in the fourth kingdom shall be strong as iron, the Roman Empire, for as much as the iron breaketh in pieces, subdue all things. Right? And that's exactly what Rome did. When Rome came into power, you had different parts of Rome, right? You know, I mean, you had the period of kings, you had impartial Rome, you had the Eastern Roman Empire, the Western Roman Empire, right? The Holy Roman Empire. And when Rome came in, they had the Roman conquest. Now, I mean, you have Belgium, you have the 10, toes, you got the common market, right? Belgium, known as Galilean, if I'm pronouncing that right, was in the Roman Empire and came out of the Roman province, right? When you're going into the toes, right? Rome didn't conquer Denmark, right? They came close to it, but Denmark is called Danes. They were migrated from the Eastern Europe, right? You got France taken by the Roman province, also called Gaul. You had Italy, right, which is Rome. You had Luxembourg, a part of the Roman Empire, came out of the Holy Roman Empire. You had the southern part of Netherlands was part of the Roman Empire. Rome, they took down Greece. The brothers know history. You have Ireland, right, not invaded by the Roman Empire, but came out of the United Kingdom, which is part of the Roman Empire, which was Northern Ireland. You had England, right, is Britain and became once about the Roman Empire, right? And you had West Germany, right? Now, they didn't conquer all of Germany, but parts of it. So you had the fourth kingdom, which was the Roman, right, empire that was strong like unto iron. The brothers have broken this down many of times of the gold, you understand, the silver, right, going into the brass and going into the iron of the different kingdoms, right? It says, and whereas thou sawest the feet and toes, right? So, I mean, you have Babylon, right? And when you actually going into it, gold is soft. You can actually cut gold, man. They shred gold and put it on cheeseburgers. I mean, people eat gold. You have gold wrapped things. You know, the more precious and finer gold is, the more softer it is. Like when you have, 14 karat gold, so like when you have 24 karat gold, it's way more softer than when you have 10 karat gold, because 10 karat gold is mixed in with silver. So it's harder and it gets softer and softer and more precious, as pure as it is. So going in, to the military strength and the might, all the way down to iron, which is strongest among all. You understand? Reading on, like I said, you got, Babylon, you got the Persians and the Medes, you got the Greeks, right? You got the Roman, you got all of these different kingdoms. It says, whereas thou sawest the feet and toes, part of potter's clay and part iron. Meaning the kingdom is part of potter's clay and part of iron. America's coming out of the Roman Empire, but yet it's the weakest, but yet the strongest, because it still holds fast, right, to the same strength of the Roman Empire coming out of it, but yet it's weakened on all levels. because it's going to be divided. Everybody's going to turn his back into it, and the Lord's going to make it as a woman in the last days, which could be molded and pushed and formed. You understand? In a potter's hand, which is the Heavenly Father. And the kingdom shall be divided, man. That's prophecy. We're living in the days of the kingdom being divided, man. And all praise to the Most High. It says, but there shall be in it of the strength of the iron. Meaning, even though it's divided, it's still going to maintain the military strength. Rome wasn't strong because they like to wear Goldilocks, man. And they love to bang a gavel, right? And they love to sail on ships with the damn nose poking out of the boat, man. That didn't make them strong. Their military was strong. The Lord said in the book of Second, let me get this real quick. Second Esdras, man. Right? Let's get this. Second Esdras chapter 12. Right? Let's see what I want. Second Esdras 11. That's what I want. Second Esdras 11. And I'm going to start at verse, and this whole thing is crazy. 44. Right? I'm going to start at 43. Therefore is thy wrongful dealing come up to the highest, meaning their sins and their wickedness and their bloodshed, and thy pride unto the mighty. Talking about the Roman Empire. The highest also have looked upon the proud times, and behold, they are ended, and his abominations are fulfilled. Because everything is on a timeline. And therefore appeared no more thou eagle, nor thy horrible wings, nor thy wicked feathers, nor thy malicious head, nor thy hurtful claws, nor all thy vain body. And all the earth may be refreshed, and may return, being delivered from thy violence. So the Roman Empire was so vast, it spread so long, so far, that the earth could damn be at rest, man, from its violence, of how strong it was as the iron, and that she may hope for judgment and mercy of him that made it. Let me go back to it. But there shall be in it of the strength of the iron, for as much as thou sawest iron mixed with clay. And that's madness. How you gonna have the most softest thing mixed with the most hardest thing? It says, and as for the toes of the feet were part of iron. Right? Again, you have the legs all the way down. Right? You have the thighs that are separate from the torso and the chest, that are separate from the head. Again, you have Babylon, right? You have the Persians and Medes, right? You have the Greeks, you have the Romans, you have these different kingdoms. And these kingdoms are getting more and more divided as you get down to the feet, right? Personified as the last kingdom, or one of the last kingdoms, rather, until you get to its toes, from America to the European Union. It says, and as the toes of the feet were part of iron and part of clay, so the kingdom should be partly strong and partly broken. It's broken through division, through its policies being broken, right? By alliances not being formed and kept, and division going on amongst themselves, but yet strong because of the alliance that they have with the military, their ICBM missiles, their hypersonic lasers, their AI fighter jets, man. It's still strong, but yet it's weak within. Like the Lord said, we got the precept earlier, every kingdom divided against itself shall not last, man, shall not stand. And whereas thou sawest iron with the clay, the murray clay, thou shalt mingle themselves with the seed of men. That's what they're doing, man. America has mingled themselves with every nation. They have mingled themselves in all policies. They've been in every bed with every man, with every nation, with every woman, man. And they have mingled together. It says, but they shall not cleave one to another, right? I mean, America's been in bed with France, Germany. It's been in bed with the UK. It's been in bed with all of the NATO countries. It's been in bed with Israel, man. No, not the holy nation, but the fake Jewish man. It's been in bed with all of them, man. Right? But they're not going to cleave one to another. Meaning at the last, they're going to all depart. Every man's going to go into his own nation, his own country, into his own people. They're not going to stay together, even though they're in an alliance, as is now. They're not going to cleave one to another. They're not going to stay together, man. You could put clay to iron all you want, but it's not going to stay together, man. You could put clay to any type of mineral or any type of iron or whatever the case may be, gold, silver, it's going to eventually wash off, fall off, right? They're formed to be broken. It says, and in the days of these kings shall God of heaven set up a kingdom. And that should give you all of the assurance that these are the days of the kings we're reading about, man. Because this kingdom is being set up. Lord didn't say it was set up already and it's already happening. No, the kingdom is being established right now. The kingdom of heaven is within you, man. How is it being established? By brothers coming together. The Most High putting the spirit on men. You prophesying, you reading, you have casting off your sins, your way of thinking, the old man. You have come to the realization that this truth is the most powerfulest thing upon this earth, man. You have denied the flesh, and the kingdom is being set up in the days of these kings. And these kings, we're living in the days of this prophecy, man. Stop thinking Daniel, the 2nd chapter, is so far off, man. It's years and millions of years away. Hundreds of thousands of years, man. See, Jake ain't gonna think we're living in the last days till they see the missile in the sky, man, pointing right in their direction, which shall never be destroyed, and the kingdom shall not be left to other people, man. Meaning it's not going to be joint heirs of another nation, and we're not coming out of power for another nation to be set up. It says, but it shall break in pieces and consume all these kingdoms, and it shall stand forever. Meaning through the reign of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, which is a part of this kingdom, he's going to destroy and break every kingdom to shreds. For as much as thou sawest that the stone was cut out of the mountain without hands, and break in pieces the iron, Yahushua HaMashiach, and the brass and the clay and the silver and the gold, and the great God have made known to the king what shall come to pass hereafter, and the dream is certain, and the interpretation thereof sure, man. So again, these days are prevalent. They're increasing. Division is on the earth. Prophecy is on the earth, man. War is on the earth. And if you're not watching, you're going to fall asleep. Right? Let me get this last closing precept. Right? If you're not watching, you will fall asleep. Don't fall asleep in the last days, man. Keep watch. Stand upon the high tower, man. Go over these videos. Do as much as you can to stay fervent in the spirit. Let's get the mighty book of Revelation. Chapter 3 and verse number 1. And unto the angel of the church of Sardis write, these things saith he that hath the 7 spirits of God and the 7 stars. I know thy works, that thou hast a name, that thou livest and art dead. So the Lord said, man, the church of Sardis had a name, as if they were alive, you know, but the true intention of the spirit in the church was dead, man. Don't have a name that you're alive, but you're really dead, man. What does it mean you're really dead? Your works. You have no works. You do nothing, man. You're always making excuses. You're never putting your hand to the plow. Somebody got to tell you what to do all the time, man. That's an evil spirit for somebody to tell you what to do all the time. Hey, Ak, I think we should give arms. Hey, Ak, it's time to go to camp. Hey, Ak, it's time to read. Hey, Ak, did you read today? Hey, Ak, did you do this? Are you keeping watch? If somebody got to govern your spirit like that, you got to really question what spirit you're going to be in the last days when nobody's around. See, this truth is on a deeper level between you and the Heavenly Father and the mercy he gives you through his son, Yahushua. You know, I don't need to exist for you to get the kingdom. You don't need to specifically exist for me to get the kingdom. The Lord said to work out your own salvation, man, with fear and trembling. When it's all said and done, you can't blame nobody but yourself. We all got the same 24 hours in a day. We all work. We all do the same. It's no excuses to anything in the last days, man. Be watchful and strengthen the things which remain. You know what's slipping on you, man. You feel it. The Spirit speaks to you, man. You have a conscience. That's in the Bible. In Esdras, man. Every man has a conscience. Every man has that mentality. Lord said, blessed is he whose conscience have not condemned him, man, or whose hope is not fallen in the Lord. The book of Sirach 14 and 1 all the way down. So blessed is that man whose conscience is not condemned. You know what you need to do, man. You know you feel bad when you don't do it. So you can't say I didn't have time. I didn't examine myself. I didn't know I needed to do this. If you're in this truth, you get cut when you don't do what you need to do. We don't meet the status quota. We didn't have a good week. When you should have went harder. When you didn't do this, you were slothful. This happened. You went off. The Lord says, strengthen the things which remain, right? That are ready to die. For I have not found thy works perfect before God. Remember, therefore, how thou hast received and heard, and hold fast and repent. Hold fast is a old ancient way of saying don't fall away. Stay true, stay strong. Hold fast and repent, man. Because you're going to go off, not willingly, God forbid. And even if you do willingly, man, you hold fast and you repent, man. You keep going. Brothers got to stop, put off the weak nature like the Lord said, man. Lord said, lift up thy head in the book of Luke, the 21st chapter, for thy redemption draweth nigh. It says, if therefore thou shalt not watch, this is the judgment on men and women that don't keep watch. I will come on thee as a thief. And you're not going to perceive and know. And thou shalt not know what hour I will come upon thee. So again, Most High willing, man, this was edifying. Lord willing, man, brothers continue to keep watch. We're going to keep watch and keep updates through the Spirit, if it be the Most High's will, to keep these updates going and dive into prophecy, to continue on the destruction of this world and all of the empires that were set up. But with that, I'm going to give all honor, reverence, and glory to the Most High God, Yahweh, by Hashem Mashiach, Malak Yahushua. Shalom.